One of the standout matches announced is the WWE Women's Intercontinental Championship clash between Becky Lynch and Lyra Valkyria. Their storyline has been building since WrestleMania 41, where Becky shockingly turned heel by betraying Lyra. That moment not only led to Becky capturing the women's IC title, but also ignited a rivalry that's been heating up ever since. The drama has also involved Bayley, who was in the mix until she lost a #1 contenders match to Valkyria on Raw's July 14 episode. Since then, Bayley's presence has faded a bit, but that doesn't mean she's out of the story. In fact, Bayley could be gearing up for a major return to the spotlight at SummerSlam. It's possible she might interfere in the title match to help Becky retain, shocking everyone by turning heel herself for the first time since February 2024. This move would mark a major shift in her character, and if she aligns with Becky afterward, it could result in one of the most dominant tag teams in women's wrestling. Such a partnership would breathe new life into the division and create countless fresh storyline opportunities moving forward. Lyra Valkyria hasn't stayed silent through all this. In a recent interview with Chris Van Vliet, she opened up about Becky's betrayal and Bayley being replaced before WrestleMania. She revealed how meaningful Becky had been to her career and how much she valued their tag team experience. But the sudden turn of events, especially Becky stepping over Bayley, felt like a betrayal that's now fueling their personal grudge. As fans look ahead to SummerSlam, it's clear that this triple-layered rivalry could have more layers to unravel. The combination of personal resentment, ambition, and shifting alliances makes for compelling drama. Adding even more intrigue is the growing speculation that WWE is setting the stage for a major character shift involving one of its most popular stars. Reports are swirling that a top-tier legend could turn heel after an astonishing 547-day run as a fan favorite. And this legend might just be aligning with none other than Becky Lynch herself. The idea is that this shocking turn could lead to the formation of a powerful new stable that reshapes the hierarchy in WWE. The names being tossed around by fans include all-time favorites like John Cena, Edge, and Trish Stratus, icons long associated with the heroic babyface role. But one name is gaining more traction than the rest: Seth Rollins. Rollins, who has been one of WWE's top fan favorites for the last year and a half, hasn't played a heel since late 2022. But the signs are starting to appear. There have been subtle hints on Raw, cryptic promos, backstage tension, and a noticeable change in tone. These could all be signaling a coming transformation. SummerSlam has a long history of delivering shocking twists and character changes, and this could be the perfect setting for Rollins to embrace his darker side once again. And who better to join him on that path than his real-life wife, Becky Lynch? Their on-screen history goes back to 2019 when they teamed up during the Baron Corbin and Lacey Evans feud. But this time, they wouldn't be the cheerful babyface couple. They could return as a calculating, ruthless duo driven by dominance and power. Together, they could spearhead a new stable that brings together overlooked or frustrated superstars from across the roster. The duo could set out to dominate both the men's and women's divisions, throwing their weight around and dictating the direction of major storylines. WWE has always found success in blurring the lines between real-life relationships and on-screen storytelling, and this could be the next great chapter in that legacy. Think Triple H and Stephanie McMahon or Edge and Lita, real-life couples whose heel turns changed the course of WWE history. Rollins and Lynch have the charisma, ring skills, and star power to become WWE's next great power couple. Reports backstage suggest that WWE is looking to create a top-level co-ed faction that can shake things up across both brands. With the Bloodline and Judgment Day currently dominating the faction scene, WWE may be eager to inject new energy with a different kind of alliance. This rumored stable would need to be instantly credible, able to deliver top-tier promos and matches. Seth and Becky fit that mold perfectly. Rollins has been somewhat directionless since losing the World Heavyweight Championship, and Becky, while still hugely popular, hasn't had a major storyline since finishing her feud with Liv Morgan. A heel turn would revitalize both characters and give them fresh motivation. They could even echo the authority-style dynamics of the past, using their marriage and influence to seize power behind the scenes. Imagine them bullying younger talent, influencing match outcomes, manipulating referees, and setting their own twisted standards of excellence. Segments where they flaunt their control, orchestrate beatdowns, and rewrite the rules would immediately establish them as a top-tier threat. Fans would tune in weekly just to see what chaos they'd unleash next. Their social media behavior has also fueled these theories. Rollins has been posting vague messages about truth and deception, while Becky recently liked a post about WWE needing a new rule-breaking power couple. Neither has confirmed anything, but the silence is only adding to the intrigue. Rollins' entrance theme, Visionary, has always walked the line between brilliance and madness. With a subtle tweak, it could take on a more menacing tone, setting the stage for a character that's cold, calculated, and absolutely ruthless. Rollins has shown in the past, whether as the Monday Night Messiah or the Architect, that he excels when playing the cerebral manipulator. Combine that persona with a twisted version of Becky's fearless character, and you've got the makings of a dominant faction. But who else might join them? There are a few strong candidates. Shayna Baszler stands out as a legitimate force, and her history with Becky could make her a compelling addition. She brings brutality and submission skill that would contrast nicely with the technical flair of Rollins and the charisma of Lynch. Another possible recruit is J.D. McDonough, especially if Judgment Day begins to fracture. Zoe Stark has shown loyalty to veteran stars and could fit right in. And from NXT, Carmelo Hayes might be brought up as Rollins' protege, someone he believes can carry the torch into the future. This stable's mission could be clear: purge WWE of phoniness and restore honor by any means necessary. Not through blatant cheating, but through calculated manipulation, exploiting every crack in the system. They wouldn't need to break rules, they'd bend them just enough to keep power and control. SummerSlam has always been the place for iconic moments. From Bret Hart in 1997 to Brock Lesnar's return in 2012 to Roman Reigns aligning with Paul Heyman in 2020, the second biggest event of the year has a reputation for shaking things up. Under Triple H's leadership, WWE storytelling has taken a more nuanced approach, favoring slow builds and layered developments. A carefully planned heel turn for Rollins and Lynch, maybe even involving an interference or betrayal at SummerSlam, would fall perfectly into that strategy. The aftermath could stretch through Payback and into Survivor Series, creating long-term momentum for multiple storylines. Beyond the creative possibilities, there's a strong business case for this move. A freshly turned heel Rollins and Lynch could sell a ton of merchandise with new branding. Their segments would likely spike TV ratings, and their storyline would provide buzzworthy moments to help counter the usual post-SummerSlam dip. They could headline mixed tag matches, get involved in authority-based feuds, and spark dream matchups with compelling new dynamics. For instance, Becky versus Rhea Ripley becomes much more intense if Becky is now manipulating her way to the top. Rollins against Cody Rhodes suddenly feels more layered if Seth is no longer a peer, but a puppet master pulling strings. The storytelling possibilities are endless. Of course, there are risks. Both Rollins and Lynch are incredibly popular, especially among younger fans. A heel turn could alienate some of that base, but WWE thrives on reinvention. Legends like The Rock, Stone Cold, and Randy Orton all reached new heights after shocking heel turns. Rollins and Lynch have the experience and star power to handle the backlash and channel it into their performances. So far, WWE hasn't confirmed anything, but the pieces are all there. The rumors, the teases, the storyline gaps, it all adds up to something big brewing. SummerSlam 2025 might be remembered not just for championship matches and surprise returns, but as the night one of WWE's greatest heroes turned to the dark side and joined forces with another legend to change everything. Whether they name themselves The Purge, The Dynasty, The Revolution, or something entirely new, one thing is for sure: if Rollins turns heel after 547 days and forms a faction with Becky Lynch, WWE will never be the same again. Fans would be hooked, tuning in every week to see the fallout, the betrayals, and the power plays that come next. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe to the WWE official YouTube channel for all the latest updates.